So some teenagers are chasing World Cup glory while others are stuck in a brutal online spiral. And with police trust collapsing, the G20 missing its biggest player, and a world-changing pattern sold for next to nothing, today's show is all about systems cracking, signals shifting, and the cost of hasty decisions. My friends, this is Daily Bagel, the morning news show bringing you all the news without the noise. Let's get into it. And kicking us off with current affairs, somewhat of a relevant theme. Only 22% of South Africans say that they trust the police. This has been the lowest figure recorded in 27 years. Now that's according to the new HSRC data, which shows confidence in SAPS has been on this steady decline since the late 90s and is now sitting at historic lows across every province. I mean, Gauteng and KZN will hit the worst, with just 18% of residents saying that they trust the police. And even the so-called high trust provinces like the Northern Cape and the Free State have cratered below 30%. So what's driving this? I mean, we've got a mix of things here. We got high crime, slow response time, corruption scandals like the recent one with our police minister, and aggressive policing tactics that do little to improve the legitimacy. I mean, some experts say that South Africans increasingly view the police as ineffective, biased, or simply absent. I mean, as one analyst put it, for many, the police are just there to certify documents. But now look, that's the national picture. But what's yours? Has your experience with the police been better than the numbers suggest, or exactly the reason that they look this bad? Come on, I want to hear some stories. And next up, a bit of a heavy story, but a necessary one to report on. You see, a Johannesburg court has just ordered Meta to permanently shut down dozens of Instagram and WhatsApp accounts that have been sharing explicit content involving South African school children, and to reveal who's the people behind them. So this urgent ruling followed an application by a media law expert who said that her team had uncovered over 30 accounts posting graphic videos and false rumors tied to real names and schools. And as a result of all of this, some teens have already tried to take their own lives. So the judge has ordered Meta to disable the accounts and hand over identifying details like names, numbers, and emails. But the real issue here runs deeper. You see, these WhatsApp channels are anonymous, wide-reaching, and almost impossible to monitor in real time. So why are we bringing this up? Because what we're sharing here is real and it's close to home. You see, one impulsive moment, one photo, one message can follow you for years. And so if you are a parent or a teenager watching this, just know that once it's out there, the stuff doesn't go away. So be careful out there. And on to our quickfire mention. South Africa's beef price surge is reportedly cooling down. You see, after panic buying linked to this foot and mouth disease outbreaks, carcass prices have reportedly dropped by a couple rand a kilo, despite new outbreaks being reported across 5 provinces. The city of Joburg is under fire for plans to sell off historic public spaces to developers, including parts of Marks Park and Pirates Sports Club. You see, this move is meant to ease financial pressure, but residents say it's just a land grab in disguise. And Cape Town's done it again, named the best city in the world by the UK's Telegraph Travel Awards for the 7th time in a row, beating out Tokyo, Sydney, and Sevilla. And on to our finance section. World finance leaders have gathered in Durban this week for the G20 talks. Well, most of them. You see, for the second time this year, US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is a no-show. And that matters here because Washington's absence isn't just a simple scheduling issue. It's a sign of this growing tension between the US and this increasingly assertive BRICS bloc, which now includes 8 G20 members. So these BRICS countries, which include South Africa, are pushing for a more balanced global finance system with less Western control. But under Trump here, the US is pushing back, rolling out sweeping new tariffs, pulling funding from climate and development groups, and retreating from these multilateral platforms that hold forums like the G20 together. So what was meant to be a summit on debt relief, green investment, and global cooperation has quietly turned into a diplomatic staring contest. So yes, the G20 moves on, but when the world's largest economy just doesn't show up to participate, it's hard to call it a shared agenda. And on to our quickfire mention. South Africa's mining sector surprised to the upside in May, with output rising 0.2% year on year. The real winner here was gold, where sales surged nearly 340%, offsetting weak numbers in manganese, coal, and PGMs. And the grounded Mango airline may still fly again. You see, despite a court ruling that threw out its business rescue plan, a private investor remains interested, and an appeal is now underway to keep the deal alive. And on to our sports section. South Africa's next rugby final isn't in Paris or Pretoria. It's in Rovigo, Italy, where the Junior Springboks will take on New Zealand this Saturday in the Under-20 World Championship decider. Our South African youngsters stormed into the final with a dominant 48-24 semi-final win over Argentina, running in 6 tries in the searing heats. It has capped a near perfect tournament so far. They've already hammered Australia, stunned England, and crushed Scotland to get here. Coach Kevin Foot has praised the team's grit, especially in defense, while Captain Riley Norton said that the team has grown massively since the Rugby Championship. So this is the Junior Boks' first final since 2014 and a shot at their first title since 2012 when they beat the Junior All Blacks at Newlands. Now kickoff is set for 8:30 p.m. on Saturday, and if the Junior Boks can finish the job here, it will be more than just a title, it will be a signal that the next generation is ready. Let's go, boys. And on to our quickfire mentions. Banyana thrashed Mali 4-0 to top the WAFCON group and book a quarterfinal against Senegal. And in case you missed it, our boy Devolt Brevis smashed 41 off 17 balls, and debutant Ruben Herman added 45 as the Proteas cruised past Zimbabwe in the T20 Tri-Series opener. They're now facing New Zealand today at 1 o'clock, so get involved. And believe it or not, Jasper Wiese is facing a multi-match ban from World Rugby after tapping his forehead against an Italian prop during Saturday's test. It was ruled dangerous play and could sideline him for most of the Rugby Championship. My friends, have the rules gone too far? And before we continue, here is your Bagel Bite of the day. The BRICS bloc has grown beyond its original 5 members, and with all this global finance tension that we've been covering today, it's worth knowing who's actually in the room. So with that in mind, how many countries currently make up the BRICS bloc? Is it A, 6, B, 8, or C, 10? Bonus points if you can name them. We'll give you the answer at the end of the show. And on to our wildcard section. In 1952, a guy named Norman Joseph Woodland filed a patent for a weird new idea where you draw parallel lines, scan it with a light, and instantly identify a product. That idea, as I'm sure you have guessed, is the barcode. So this breakthrough hit him while he was on the beach in Florida. Woodland, who was a former Boy Scout, started tracing Morse code dots in the sand, and then he would drag his finger downwards, stretching this code into vertical lines. And that simple motion turned a communication system into a scannable pattern. And just like that, the seed for the barcode was planted. Today, over 5 billion barcodes are reportedly scanned around the world every single day. I mean, Walmart alone does 20 million an hour. And I can't help but wonder, if he had held onto that patent, would he have gone on to make millions, billions? Who knows? Either way though, I'm pretty sure his grandkids aren't very happy. And as for that Bagel Bite, the BRICS bloc now includes 10 countries. So it has the original 5, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And now it also has Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. That's nearly half of the G20, and likely a big reason why the US didn't show up for the summit. And my friends, that's it for today's show. Thanks so much for tuning in and for making my job so enjoyable. Hope you guys have a great Wednesday. Be kind to one another, and I'll see you all same time tomorrow. Cheers.